In April of 1972, astronaut Charles Moss Duke traveled to the Moon as part of the Apollo 16 mission. As the astronauts approached the satellite of our planet, they noticed strange flashes on the surface of the Moon. It was as if a fireworks display was happening right before their eyes. And they weren't the only witnesses to this peculiar event. Nearly every astronaut involved in lunar exploration missions reported unusual flashes. Flashes emitted from the Moon were also detected from Earth. In September 2022, Ruben Ariza from Colombia captured a 5-minute video clearly showing the lunar fireworks. What lies behind this mysterious observed event, and why can't science explain these anomalies on the Moon that have been occurring for years? Despite being closer to us than any other celestial object, the Moon still confounds scientists. People began to wonder about the origin of this event thousands of years ago. In the ancient city of Tiwanaku, inscriptions preserved on the walls of the ancient Colossus Saya Temple talk about the Moon approximately 12,000 years ago. The drawings of the Hopi people contain an encrypted story about how the Moon once caused unprecedented disasters. Legends told stories explaining how our planet's orbit and rotational speed would change. According to the legends of the African Zulu people, the Moon is a burning dragon egg. 2 scaly-skinned brothers stole the yolk of this egg, leaving its shell in the sky, thus placing the Moon in its position in the heavens. Even thousands of years later, modern-day scientists do not have a definitive answer to how the Moon came into existence. One theory suggests that in the past, the Earth and the Moon were located in different parts of the solar system. Our satellite, the Moon, was like an asteroid wandering aimlessly. When the Moon approached the Earth, it was caught in the planet's gravitational pull. Other planets in the solar system acquired their moons in this way. This theory could indeed explain the origins of the Moon, but a discovery that confounds scientists points to this theory possibly being incorrect. This discovery shows that rocks of earthly origin are present on our satellite. If our planet and the Moon were formed in different parts of the universe, how could they have rocks composed of the same materials? Professor Sarah Russell from the Natural History Museum in London puts forward another theory. She believes that the Moon and Earth could have formed together 4.5 billion years ago, while our planet was still taking shape. She theorizes that a part of the planet's crust might have split and separated during its rapid spin, and these remnants entered the planet's orbit, forming the satellite. However, the issue is, in this case, the composition of the Moon and Earth should be identical. The initial findings of the Apollo astronauts could have proven this theory, but soil samples from the Moon's dark surface definitely showed a different composition. Yet, this inconsistency can be explained by another hypothesis. In 1898, British astronomer George Darwin proposed that Earth had collided with a protoplanet called Theia, about the size of Mars, 4.5 billion years ago. The impact was so strong that it could have destroyed Earth, and life in the solar system would never have emerged. Fortunately, this did not happen. Parts of Theia's rocks and mantle, along with the devastating impact and pieces broken from both planets, combined to form the Moon. This theory explains why the chemical composition of our satellite's dark side includes some of the debris from Theia. However, it doesn't explain why rocks older than the solar system are found on the Moon. In 1973, researchers found some moon rocks to be over 5 billion years old, but Earth and other planets in the solar system formed 4.6 billion years ago. This discovery led researchers from the University of California to assume that the Moon actually emerged about 2 billion years before Earth. According to these explanations, our satellite probably formed in another star system then, drawn by the Sun's strong gravity, moved into our solar system and settled into Earth's orbit with the planet's gravity. If this is the case, all this time, an object from the depths of space has been orbiting Earth. However, the problem is that none of these scientific hypotheses have been proven 100%. Humankind has been studying the Moon for thousands of years, But like the mystery behind the moon's origin, the hypotheses put forth only further confuse the matter. For instance, scientists know that the moon does not have a magnetic field of its own, but Apollo astronauts brought back magnetized moon rock fragments with them. Rocks can only be magnetized under the influence of a magnetosphere, and as mentioned, our satellite does not have such a magnetosphere. In April 1972, the Apollo 16 crew made another startling discovery. About 100 kilometers beneath the lunar surface, they found two ferromagnetic shields each over 1,000 kilometers long. According to this finding, it appeared as if someone had constructed two giant steel support beams inside the moon. Today, no one knows the origin of these steel beams there. NASA could possibly have more information on this, but the space agency seems in no hurry to share the information it holds. The information that rock samples brought by Apollo 14 contained water was even kept a secret for 40 years. However, in 2010, when news broke that moon probes found 600 million tons of water ice in the satellite's craters, NASA finally disclosed information regarding the previous findings. So it seems we may not learn the truth about the ferromagnetic shields anytime soon. And now, on top of all these secrets about the moon, there are those mysterious flashes. The explanation for the mysterious flashes could be hidden within the moon. Our satellite has a strange orbit that does not match its size. This situation leads scientists to think that the inside of the moon could have a lower density. During the first landing on the moon's surface, the astronauts did not have seismic equipment. This equipment can detect different types of activity, from meteorite impacts to artificial explosions and emergency landings of space rockets. For instance, during the landing of Apollo 12, they detected a tremor equivalent to the explosion of a ton of TNT. The equipment recorded this seismic effect, but there was something unusual in this measurement. As the tremors peaked 8 minutes later, the shock waves increased by 30 times instead of decreasing. Both NASA and the Apollo astronauts were astonished by this event. Such an extraordinary shockwave propagation could prove a theory posited in 1962 by Dr. Gordon MacDonald from NASA. Dr. MacDonald suggested in one of his papers that considering the moon is thought to have a significantly lower density than Earth, its interior might be entirely hollow. Moon craters could also be another proof for this theory. The surface of the moon is bombarded by about 3 tons of meteors every day, but only the large meteors leave visible traces. Additionally, the width and height of the craters left by such collisions should be proportionate, but oddly this rule does not apply on the moon. Studies have shown that large and small craters are fundamentally equal. One hypothesis suggests that small meteors leave cup-shaped depressions in the moon's rocky surface, while large objects literally penetrate the rocky surface and hit the high-strength metal layer beneath. In 1970, Soviet astronomers Michael Vassan and Alexander Sherbakov proposed that the moon's few kilometers thick outer rock layer covers an armored metal body more than 32 kilometers thick. Work done by Apollo 14 astronauts partially supports this thesis. When they tried to drill through rocks at the base of a lunar crater, they encountered metals like copper, chromium, zirconium, mica, and pure titanium. Could this be the reason behind the mysterious glows? And can we study the glows resulting from meteorites hitting this metal layer? Yet there's something more frightening in the Soviet scientists' theory. They believed that beneath the metal body inside the moon is a habitable atmosphere. Author Herbert Wells was the first to propose the idea of a hollow moon in his book The First Men in the Moon, but some scientific hypotheses can be bolder than science fiction. Michael Vassin and Alexander Sherbakov seriously considered the possibility that the moon is an artificial body containing life. According to the Vassin-Sherbakov hypothesis, a space object was sent to serve as an inner sphere from distant regions of the galaxy, and it was produced where an extraterrestrial advanced civilization has been living for thousands of years. The scientists speculated that the beings living inside the moon have much more advanced and superior technology compared to US Earthlings. According to their theories, after Earth was formed, an extraterrestrial civilization built a space station to observe possible life on our planet and disguised it as a satellite. It may sound bizarre, but without the intervention of an alien civilization, humanity might not have emerged. The existence of life on Earth is actually dependent on the moon. Our satellite affects the axial tilt of the Earth, ensuring it remains at a 1-degree angle every 1,000 years. Without the balance created by the moon, the Earth would tilt 85 degrees every million years. The orientation of the Earth relative to the Sun would change so drastically that the Sun's rays would start falling over one of the poles instead of the equator. All the ice at the sun-facing pole would melt, causing massive floods. One hemisphere would experience only night, while the other would be continually scorched by the sun. So, these aliens could really be hiding from scientists. They may also be controlling and supporting our terrestrial life. People continue to find clues supporting this hypothesis. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has been scouting the moon's surface for future space exploration since 2009. As part of its research, photos of the moon's surface were published on Google Maps for all to see. Self-proclaimed UFO expert Scott Waring claims to have found something strange on the dark side of the moon. He asserts to have spotted a 15-kilometer-long alien structure in Demoreus, a large ancient crater on the northern hemisphere of the moon's dark side. Upon zooming into the photo, Waring says he sees the side of a massive building. However, the amateur astronomer notes that upon examining the same spot in other moon images, the building mysteriously disappears, leaving a crater in its place. Waring accuses NASA of hiding the truth about their discoveries and clearing all photographic evidence. However, confidential information occasionally leaks to the media. In 2007, photos allegedly taken during the Apollo 20 mission were posted online by astronaut William Rutledge. Official records state that a total of 17 moon missions were executed from 1961 to 1975, with 11 being manned. Apollo 18, 19 and 20 were reportedly cancelled due to financial constraints. Yet William Rutledge insists that the Apollo 20 mission was launched in 1976. He, Alexei Leonov and Leona Snyder were sent on this mission. Rutledge claims to have discovered an unidentified object, possibly a spaceship, on the dark side of the moon during the Apollo 15 mission. The next two missions allegedly surveyed the terrain from orbit and took a series of photos. According to Rutledge, Apollo 20's mission was to land beside the alien ship and examine it using rover vehicles. The astronaut alleges they successfully landed next to the mysterious large spaceship, over 3 kilometers long and 500 meters in diameter, dwarfing the Apollo shuttle in comparison. Rutledge states they managed to enter and inspect the ship. Allegedly, the crew found preserved alien bodies inside longitudinal glass tubes. The astronauts even reportedly took the head of one for research. Additionally, he says they found the remains of a 6-fingered humanoid female pilot. If true, the astronauts were likely under immense stress, and it would be cruel to demand evidence like an alien head, or at least a photo of the human-like being. However, NASA possibly confiscated the findings, keeping them secret as usual. Rutledge's story might sound bizarre, but new evidence supporting the theory of an alien civilization on the moon has been emerging since 2017. Ken Johnston, a former manager of the Data and Photo Control Department at the Lunar Transfer Laboratory, claims to have access to the original copies of photographs, films and slides from the moon. Despite the order to destroy the photo archive, Johnston alleges he kept some photos in his private collection, including an image of a rectangular structure on the moon. The project, titled Searching for Alien Artifacts on the Moon, founded by Alexei Arkhipov, a researcher from the Institute of Radio Astronomy of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, aims to investigate such findings on the moon. The researcher contends that if there are indeed intelligent creatures on the moon, they understand that humans are observing them. Therefore, the hypothetical extraterrestrial civilization would be forced to gradually erase their traces in the areas observed by Earth's spacecrafts. Alexei noticed that mysterious flashes on our satellite have been observed more frequently after exploration missions to the moon. He's convinced that the existence of alien civilization is clearing evidence of their presence on the moon by destroying their structures to prevent humans from learning about them for as long as possible. So what does real science say about these flashes? Regardless of how wild alien theories may be, scientists have still not reached a consensus on where these mysterious flashes come from. In this regard, there are three fundamental theories based on scientific research. One of them belongs to the academics in Neliota, a project specifically created to study the moon. The project utilizes a large telescope equipped with a special camera at the Athens National Observatory. This telescope allows scientists to detect up to 8 lunar flashes per hour. Researchers believe these flashes are bright material emerging after asteroids hit the lunar surface. When a small asteroid approaches Earth, it completely disintegrates, burning in the atmosphere. However, the moon has no atmosphere, therefore even a small rock would shatter upon impact, heating the lunar surface and producing a flash. But some researchers believe that these have nothing to do with meteorites and are mirror reflections. Over time, rocks from the depths of the moon's surface due to erosion. These rocks, formed inside craters 150 million years ago, reflect sunlight at a specific angle, causing us to observe reflections. However, our discoveries about our moon will never cease. In 2023, a new group of scientists began to investigate lunar glows at a specially designed observatory for this purpose. Astronomers are continuously observing the moon with 2 cameras located 100 kilometers north of the city of Sevilla, Spain. When both cameras detect a glow, detailed photo and video materials related to the event are recorded and electronically sent to the Julius Maximilian University in Würzburg, Germany, which oversees the telescopes. Project manager Håkan Heil tends to believe that the glows are a product of seismic activity. According to his observations, there could be a gas leak reflecting sunlight from the depths of the moon. This could explain the so-called long reflections that can last for hours. Even though scientists worldwide are examining this interesting event observed on the moon, its origin is still a mystery. Hence, any theory from asteroid reflections to the explosion of alien bases could be true. You can even construct your own theory that might explain the origins of these interesting lunar glows better than the assumptions of scientists. For instance, we can even accept that our moon is a hologram created by NASA, and lunar glows occur when space objects pierce the hologram. What do you think? Share your theories about these mysterious glows in the comments with us.